What's up, everyone, and welcome back. Today, I'm going to be going over my top 10 list for New Comic Book Day, December 1st, 2021, the first new comic book day of the month of December. I cannot believe this year is already almost over. So as far as this new comic book day goes, we had some new titles come out, a couple other major releases, and I cannot wait to talk about them with you. So before I get started off on this top 10 list, if you are new to the channel, I drop weekly comic book content that's going to keep you up to date on all of the latest releases. So if you don't want to miss out on that, make sure you hit the subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content. You won't regret it. And now, without further ado, let's get started on this top 10 list. So I hope you all are having a fantastic day so far today. The winner of last week's giveaway, this Bombardier and Son exclusive, and I've got 5 other books in that lot as well, is Rob Fanguy. Congratulations on winning, and be sure to comment down below on my pinned comment. We can discuss how I'm going to be getting these books out to you. So as far as this new comic book day goes, I'm really happy I was able to get all of my books. I picked up a total of 10 issues, and comment down below if you're still having issues with either Diamond, Marvel, DC not showing up, because I've talked to a lot of people who weren't able to get all of their books, or their shop got shortage. So I want to know your experiences for this new comic book day. I'm very thankful I was able to get all my books, and I cannot wait to talk about them with you. But before I get started off on this top 10 list, as always, there's probably going to be spoilers. I get really excited talking about some of these, especially once I get a little bit more in-depth with the review itself, but I'm going to put a little spoiler tag at the bottom so you guys know it's going to be coming, and you can skip forward to the next one if you don't want to hear any spoilers. So to kick this list off first, we've got coming in at number 10. This is Marvel's The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 80. This is cover A. Honestly, I'm still very impressed with this series. I truly do think it has been fantastic so far. I ended up missing out on issue number 79, so I had to pick that one up too, read this one as well. The only issue I'm having is, it's actually an issue that I talked about in the very beginning before I got started off on this new volume. I feel like once a week is too much for Spider-Man, for this Amazing Spider-Man series. We've got the main title going on, we've got some tie-ins as well, and we've got tie-ins from other series. There is a lot of Amazing Spider-Man to keep up with, and I feel like with the tie-ins, if you're not fully invested in them, you are actually missing out on a little bit of story. But as far as this issue goes, like I said before, I thought it was very well done. I love the artwork, I love what they're doing with Kraven right now, and going forward, I do really have high hopes for this, and I cannot wait to see what the creative team does with this series. Let's talk about it a little bit more down low. I don't want to spoil too much because this issue itself kind of had a lot of action, not as much story, so if I get into it at all, it's pretty much going to spoil the entire issue. So with that being said, for those reasons, we've got The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 80, coming in at number 10. And next up on my list this week, we've got coming in at number 9. This is Images, Firepower, issue number 18. This is cover A, and I'm absolutely loving this current arc. It has been fantastic. I love the story that they're trying to tell. And now that we're 18 issues deep, I feel like I'm going to take back almost everything that I said about the earlier issues of this series. So in the beginning, I really liked it. I thought it started off strong, but once we started making it to like the 5th issue and then moving forward, I talked about how I thought the pacing was a little off. Some issues were just straight action. Other issues, it was very plot driven. And then there's some other issues too that was just dialogue amongst the characters. And I felt personally, it didn't really have any major impact on the story. I didn't really know what they were trying to accomplish. So there's multiple times I almost dropped this series. I am so happy I stuck with it because now that we're on the 18th issue, this one in particular was almost all action. It's been leading up to this right now from the last couple issues. Everything that happened in the last few finally happened in this issue. I don't really want to talk about it, but man, the Serpent's Omen, they are here. They are fully prepared to start to take over the world and all of these people. I'm completely about it. But seriously, the buildup of it has been incredible. I feel so invested in these characters. I know their backstory, their personalities, how they interact with each other. This team, I'm completely wrong. I'm sorry I said all the things I did in the beginning, but they actually did kill it on this story. I want to know what you think about it down low, but for those reasons, we've got Firepower, issue number 18, coming in at number 9. Next up this week, we've got coming in at number 8. This is Vaults, the last book you'll ever read, issue number 4. This is cover A, and this is another series that I highly recommend. Every issue just feels complete. We have action, a little bit of plot progression, but just there's such a big mystery behind this whole story so far. We have our main character, and each issue has progressed her character just a little bit more. In the beginning, we just thought she was some novelist. She came out with this book that everyone started going crazy over. But as we progress the story a little bit, she's got a little bit of mystery with her too. Who is she? Is she just a monster? Is she a demon? I'm really excited to see what Colin Bunn does with this one. And this one kind of reads like the other ones as well, except now it's not as much of them being on the book tour. It's everyone is now after her. Everyone wants to kind of kill her because she's spreading these false lies. Can't wait to see what Common Bond does with it. It's been an incredible story. Find these back issues if you can. But for those reasons, we've got the last book you'll ever read, issue number 4, coming in at number 8. Next up on my list this week, we've got coming in at number 7. This is Dynamite's brand new series. We've got Evil Ernie, issue number 1. This is the Ken Hazer variant, the TMNT homage cover. I love it. I saw it. I had to pick it up. Ken Hazer's artwork is incredible. Now, as far as this series goes, I've never read anything with Evil Ernie before. I have no knowledge of that character, but it was a brand new Dynamite series, a character I've never read before. I had to pick it up, and I'd say this definitely was new reader friendly. I really enjoyed it. The artwork was great, and as far as the story itself goes, I think they did a great job setting up who Ernie is as a character. We got a little bit of backstory about him, what his personality is, and kind of what led him to where he is in the series right now. Definitely check it out if you had a light week or if you're interested in hopping onto some new Dynamite titles. This one was very good, and like I said, very new reader friendly. So for those reasons, we've got Evil Ernie issue number 1 coming in at number 7. And next up this week, we've got coming in at number 6. This is Images, The Department of Truth, issue number 14. This is cover A, and this continues to be another series that I highly recommend for everybody. We're 14 issues deep. Some of the earlier issues are a little pricey, not too bad, but there are extra prints if you want to go that route. But if you're more of a trade paperback fan, they definitely have those as well. Check it out if you can. This issue, kind of like all the other ones, there's a ton of dialogue, a lot of plot progression, not a lot of action in most of these issues, but I do like that. I'm a conspiracy nut. I love looking into that type of stuff. So a series like this is right up my alley. And in this issue particularly, they kind of focused more on Scientology and everything that entails that. We did get a few bigger pieces to the overall Department of Truth puzzle. Not going to be talking about that at all. We're going to be talking about that one a little bit more down low in the comment section. But with this issue, we just had our character that our two main characters were kind of focusing on. He was telling his story about Scientology, how it opened up a portal to everything else. Awesome issue. Check it out. I highly recommend this series. But for those reasons, we've got the Department of Truth, issue number 14, coming in at number 6. And here we go. We're down to the top 5 issues of the week. We've got coming in at number 5 this week. This is Images, The Me You Love in the Dark, issue number 5. This is cover A. And for those of you reading this, this is the end of the series. How did I think about the finale? I liked it. Did I want a lot more issues of this series, though? Absolutely. I feel as though Scotty Young definitely had a lot more story to tell from this series, but I thought he did a great job setting everything up. I wanted to know more about this monster, though, kind of maybe a little bit more backstory on the main character as well. But the one thing that I did like is even though it is just a 5-issue miniseries, they just focused on our main character. They focused on the monster. They focused on just their relationship building up over the course of the series. And in this 5th issue hit, and everything finally hit the fan, and there was a lot of action. There wasn't as much dialogue. This is a type of series that you literally can sit down, read it all in one sitting. Honestly, I think I read this issue in just a minute or two, maybe even the same breath I finished it. Not a lot of dialogue, but man, the story that he told over the course of the other 4 issues, I love it. Definitely check it out. As I said before, if you're not a fan of reading it in singles, I'm sure a trade paperback is going to be on the way too. But for those reasons, we've got The Me You Love in the Dark, issue number 5, coming in at number 5. Next up this week, we've got coming in at number 4, this is Marvel's Venom, issue number 2. This is cover A, but not only did I grab cover A this week, but I also grabbed the local comic book shop day version of it as well. This is such an incredible cover, and when I saw it, I knew I had to pick it up. So with this series right now, we are absolutely in story building mode. Ram V is doing a phenomenal job so far. I love the story that he's telling, building up. I love the artwork. This issue focused more on Dylan. The last issue kind of told both sides of the story, setting up a brand new Venom series. The one thing that, I don't know if it's just me, that I'm not a huge fan of, and like I said, this might just be me, I read all of Absolute Carnage. I read the entire King in Black Venom run that Donny Cates did, and I figured this was kind of going to be a setup directly after that. And while it kind of did seem that way, I did not read Extreme Carnage at all. I read, I think, the first issue, and after knowing what kind of happened in that first issue, that's what leads me to believe that that is also going to be tied into this main series. So I feel like I should probably go back and read Extreme Carnage. If you did read that and you're also reading this series, please let me know down low in the comment section what you think about it. Do I need to go back? But as of now, as of not reading that, I still highly recommend this series. I'm really enjoying it. And like I said, it's Ram V. He's absolutely killing it, and he's going to build an incredible story around Dylan and eventually probably Eddie Brock again. But for those reasons, we've got Venom, issue number 2, coming in at number 4. And here we go. We're down to the top 3 issues of the week we've got coming in at number 3 this week. This is AWA's Hotel, issue number 1. This is the new volume to the series, though. I'd say you should read the first volume. At this point, I don't think it's going to make a huge difference if you didn't read that first one, but you're going to know what the setup is like. And this might be a little bit of a spoiler. So this series, to me, is kind of like Twilight Zone meets Tales to the Crypt. We've got our manager who's running the hotel, and he's like the crypt keeper. The story doesn't focus on him. It focuses on the guests that show up to this hotel. But if you didn't read the first volume, you're not really going to know how the series is set up. And if you did read that first volume and you read this issue, you're going to know what I'm talking about. So there was a panel in here where you heard someone kind of yelling through the wall. This is definitely a spoiler. In the first volume, they had a lot of things that kind of were like that, but then the next issue or an issue after that was that perspective from that different guest from the hotel. And by the end of it, all the stories kind of blend together and make one big story. I loved it. So I definitely recommend reading this one. Definitely read the first volume of it if you can. There's a trade paperback out for it. But for those reasons, we've got Hotel, Volume 2, issue number 1, coming in at number 3. And here we are, down to the final 2 issues of the week. We've got coming in at number 2 this week. This is Images, Hellcop, issue number 2. This is cover A. I am absolutely loving this series so far. I know we're only 2 issues deep, but I think they're killing it on it right now. And it's really underrated in my opinion. I haven't been talking to a lot of people who are actually picking this series up, but the people who I have talked to all love it. I love the artwork. The first issue, in my opinion, had a lot of just story building, a lot of plot progression, kind of giving us some backstory on the characters. And now this one picks up pretty much where the last one left off, and everything is just moving forward. This is going to be a spoiler, but we've got our main character. He's dealing with the fallout that happened from the last issue where he got framed for the murder of his partner, and now he had to go to hell to basically be a detective, figure out what happened, and just who is setting him up. Definitely recommend it. Seriously, check this one out. It has been so good so far. But for those reasons, we've got Hellcop, issue number 2, coming in at number 2. And this is it, my top read of the week. We've got coming in at number 1 this week. This is Image's brand new series. We've got King of Spies, issue number 1. This is cover A and was an extremely last-second pickup. I'm telling you, I literally picked this one up just so I could fill out a top 10 list. And look at that, it got number 1. It was incredible. There was a ton of action. We got a little bit of backstory on the characters themselves. That didn't really happen until kind of pushing more midway into the issue. So in the beginning, I kind of felt lost, but I really enjoyed all the explosions and action scenes that were happening amongst the panels. The artwork was incredible. But then once we got to the real storytelling, what's actually going on in the series is going to be a spoiler. I thought they killed it on that too, especially for a first issue. We got our main character, and it's kind of just showing things that happened in his life, what led him to where he is right now. And he's just kind of sulking it all in. He's like, I killed all these people. I've done all of these things. But in the process, I didn't really ruin my life, but I've ruined all the relationships. Everything that I've built up in the past is pretty much meaningless. And then he finds out that he actually has a terminal disease. He's going to be dying in the next, I think they said 6 months. But here's why I gave it number 1 and why I think this is going to be an incredible series. Once all of that was established, we got the backstory, we found out what's happening with our main character. And then he kind of took it all in, said, wow, I'm going to be dying in the next 6 months. I think I've realistically only got 3 more months to make, an impact on the world. So before he dies, he's making a pact to pretty much take down every single bad person that he possibly can in the meantime. I am really looking forward to this one. If you had a light week, if you were looking for a couple extra books, you were on the fence, definitely pick this one up. Hands down, in my opinion, number 1 choice of the week. There were a ton of other really good ones too, but man, this one really got it. But for those reasons, we've got King of Spies, issue number 1, taking the crown at number 1. And now you know what time it is. This week's giveaway. For this week, I'm going to be giving away Venom issue number 2. This is a local comic book shop day variant. All you have to do to enter into this week's giveaway is comment down below what your favorite book of the week was and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And if you don't want to miss out on any of my upcoming content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content. You won't regret it. And I've got 2 more videos sitting off to the side here with more of my comic book content. Click on one of those and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.